Howdy, Merry Christmas, and Happy Holidays. Welcome back to the 10th episode of I Bought a Minifigure. In this episode, I have two packages from BrickLink that contain some pretty cool minifigures, and I'm very excited to show them to you guys. Let's get into it. This one is really well packaged. Oh wow, it looks like the seller included something extra. This is a sticker, I think, with elves on it. And what else is this? Oh, it's another Christmas tree. I think this one's a magnet. That's so cool. I love when sellers give you extra goodies. This is actually really well packaged. It's only what, like four minifigures in here? Oh, nice. They all come in one bag. Alright, I'm super excited for this. I'm gonna start opening them up. I appreciate when BrickLink sellers individually bag all the minifigures, because that's personally what I do. I got a Darth Maul from this guy. I swear this Santa Darth Maul is usually like $15, and this guy had him for under $8. I got a pretty good deal on this Zeke the Zombie from the Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine as well. Santa C-3PO. And this one I've been wanting for a while, and I'll talk more about it later, why I've been chasing this. But this guy had him, and I wanted to do the Christmas theme, and he had the Santa Darth Maul and C-3PO, and I just decided now was the time to get it. Yeah, super happy with this first one. This is Retox from Ultra Agents. Also the Christmas themed clone, which is surprisingly expensive. The old yellow Professor Quirrell. I think this is my first yellow Harry Potter minifigure. This is Galileo Galilei, who I think this guy must have had like a 25% off sale when I bought it, because it was under $5, and it was the first thing that I saw, and I ended up clicking on his store and buying a lot more. Well, not a lot more, like 4, but still enough. This Galileo came out in an Ideas set, an Ideas promo that you had to spend like $250 to get, and I just wasn't gonna do that. I'd rather just buy the minifigure for $5. He's really not even that interesting. I just personally like the idea of having a Galileo minifigure. I think he could be useful in the future if I ever want to do something. Let's talk a little bit about Professor Quirrell. Professor Quirrell is the 11th minifigure in the Harry Potter BrickLink catalog. What's weird about this guy is that he's yellow. Harry Potter minifigures did actually used to be yellow, and they also had some pretty weird faces. This guy came out in 2001, which is older than me, and I know some of you guys are gonna feel really old by me saying that. This guy's hand is really tight for some reason. I feel like I'm gonna break it if I move it just a little. Some of these minifigures really haven't been played with in almost decades, some of them, and they'll often be stiff. Some of them are loose, but this one's pretty stiff. I also really like this purple. I'm not sure if they still make parts in this color. It looks like a darker fuchsia. They call it purple on BrickLink, but like Joker, for example, only comes in dark purple, and I think that's what I'm more used to in minifigures. I'm not gonna lie, this is probably my favorite minifigure from this haul. That's pretty unexpected, and I also never really expected to get this minifigure. So why would I want such an old minifigure in my collection? Especially one that's yellow, Harry Potter, and looks weird. I'll start by saying that I own every other Professor Quirrell. That's not crazy though. There have only been 3 of this guy released. In 2018, they came out with a brand new design for Professor Quirrell, and in 2021, they released the 20th anniversary minifigure. This guy, who's in surprisingly good condition by the way, was the first minifigure with a dual-sided face. Voldemort on the other side is the first ever dual-sided face print. So I wanted this guy in my collection because he's historically significant to the modern minifigure. Pick up any minifigure made after like 2013, almost all of them will have the secondary face. If not, they don't have a hairpiece that covers it. But he's not the only historically significant minifigure in this haul. Let's talk about the Spyrius droid right here. This is Major Kartovsky, the Spyrius droid from 1994. Not to sound too young, but this is so old it's from a theme that I personally had never heard of before researching this. So what's so cool about him, and what makes him historically significant? This is the first minifigure to exhibit leg printing. This one is also in astonishingly good condition, and I'd like to commend the sellers for that. Now we all know that Cloud City Boba Fett was the first minifigure to have printing on his arms, but to have printing on your legs is also pretty revolutionary, especially for 1994. Even in the modern day, people still complain that a more expensive minifigure doesn't have leg printing. It's basically expected at this point. Next up, we have Retox from Ultra Agents. This minifigure was released in 2014, and I honestly don't have a lot of Ultra Agents minifigures because I just seemingly skipped that theme. He has a super cool translucent green head, and he looks mischievous or villainous in a way. I really like that about him. Overall, he's pretty cool, and he's under $4, so why not get him? The next up minifigure is Galileo Galilei, who I misspoke before. He was a gift with purchase for only $130 in the United States. That's still a little bit more than what I was willing to pay for him, but getting him for under $5 is still a good deal. There's also nothing really new with him. The face is used in Gandalf the Grey, Old Man Marley, a bunch of other minifigures that just are old men. It's cool to see a minifigure that was a real person at one time though. Next up we have the zombie from Scooby-Doo. This guy's named Zeke, and he came in the Mystery Machine. Scooby-Doo was just one of those themes that came and went way too fast. I really loved all the builds, and I'm fortunate to have gotten 2 or 3. I'm still working on getting all of the minifigures, and unfortunately for me, they're actually really expensive nowadays. Now let's get into everyone's favorite, the Christmas-themed Star Wars minifigures. By this time next year, I'll be making a much better video where I finally get all of these except for the Yuletide X-Wing pilot because he's far too expensive. First up, we have the Santa Hat Clone Trooper, who for some reason is like $10 to $12 on BrickLink. He came in the 2014 Advent Calendar. There's nothing too interesting about him, but I really want to collect all of these Star Wars Christmas figures. Next up, we have Santa C-3PO, who is just way cooler than the previous clone. This guy came in the 2015 Star Wars Advent Calendar. I got my first Advent Calendar in 2020, so I've got a lot of catching up to do. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you for your continued support. If you enjoy the video, consider liking it. Also, consider subscribing. YouTube tells me that 605.5% of you aren't subscribed. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know where they got the numbers from. It's kind of scuffed if you think about it, unlike this Darth Maul. He's in extremely good condition compared to how the BrickLink seller had described him. As I said earlier, this guy usually goes for $15. I've seen him sell for even $30. And I got him for less than $8, which is a stellar deal in my opinion. His head is a little bit loose. Let's go ahead and get the 360 on him. This is one of the more desirable Christmas Star Wars minifigures, being from the 2012 Advent Calendar. He's no Darth Vader or Jango though, as those guys can regularly sell up to $25. His hood piece is made of rubber and it's super cool. It's one of the few of those that I have, and he's also got a candy cane on his back. If you guys are looking to buy this used, the hood can be a little loose and the cape can be frayed, so just be warned. But yeah guys, that's all of the minifigures that I got in this haul. I think it's pretty cool. I'm super excited to have the 2 basically historical minifigures in here. Even though this is more of a Christmas episode, I'm super excited to just teach you guys more about the history of a LEGO minifigure. I think that's something that everyone needs to know, honestly. And this is episode 10. Episode 10 of I Bought a Minifigure. We're getting high up in numbers, and it's only getting better from here. You know, I've been collecting minifigures for over 13 years now, and I've just decided this year to showcase all of this. I'm super thankful to Daniel from Brick Sites for sending along this magnet and the sticker. Those are super cool, dude. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm also super thankful to all of you that are still watching. If you found the series earlier this year and you enjoyed it and stuck around, I'm super thankful for you. It was my goal to hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of 2023, and it doesn't look like I'm going to do that, and that's perfectly fine. I don't have a problem with that. But I just want to continue growing and continue showing you guys how my minifigure collection is growing and I hope to maybe do some updates on my city later on as well. I'm also hoping to come up with the money for the Avengers Tower so that I can do a killer review on that for you guys. Anyways, that's all I have for you. If you guys have any suggestions, leave them down in the comments below. Other than that, like the video if you liked the video. Again, I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas, and if you don't celebrate it, Happy Holidays at the least. See ya.